Welcome back to TWC Home Improvements Podcast. It's episode 7 this time. And this one's really one that I've requested for a little while. And it's called Point of Difference, although Joe came up with the actual title. But it was one that I've wanted to do for a while because I've always felt that there was something different about these guys. And I don't just mean Andy. And I really felt that a website doesn't just bring it to life enough on its own. And so I wanted to go into a lot more detail about what really stands TWC out. What do they do different? What do their suppliers do different, etc., etc. And this episode, we're going to go through those so that people can get an understanding of how it all works here at HQ TWC. Right. Coffee, Andy.
Yeah,
welcome.
sorry. Yeah. Hello, welcome back.
And Joe. See, I did
Nice to see you.
I did attribute the title to you there, mate. Even
Thank
though
you. I appreciate that. It's nice when you get that recognition. You know.
Yeah, you chatty-eyed it or something, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So, how have you guys been?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Busy?
Always busy. It's been a good start to the year, hasn't it?
Very good. Yeah, you started growing a millet as well, which I'm really proud of you for.
Yeah. I think I'm always
We've got to
looking,
see that evolve now each episode.
Exactly. I'm always looking at ways to sort of improve the business
What
and
your
my own
difference?
look and stuff like that. So used to have a slick back, which thoroughly annoyed Andrew. Turned it before the Christmas party once. Turned it into a ponytail.
I saw
which,
that. And
which went
but
there.
a top one, wasn't it?
Top
as well?
knot. Yeah, big time.
Wow.
And then, so I thought, well, I didn't really want to go down that road again, kind of already trodden that. So I thought, I'm 40 now, why not embrace a mullet?
He's going through all the different stages of, do you know, Harry Potter, the Weasley family? He's going through all the different stages of their haircuts as they went through. I think you're on film 7 now, aren't
Yeah,
they?
so just, keeping it smart,
Looks good. Yeah, proud of you.
I've just got a
Pass it
little
at the
bit
back.
shorter for me.
Yeah, sorry.
Few more
Haircuts aren't really a
No,
conversation.
it's
you
not
want to get
something.
involved.
No. I'm sat here with
You
envy
didn't
in
ask
the
for
eyes.
that, did you?
No, exactly, it's all gone.
What would
Solar
you ask
panel for
that?
a love machine.
What would that be? Just trim the
All
top.
off. I do
All
it
off.
myself now. I don't even bother going to a barber's anymore.
Excellent.
Right, so this episode, really looking at the different elements that stands TWC out from the crowd. It's a competitive environment. And first of all, I'm going to start with TWC themselves before we talk about supplier-centric topics. And the first one is the importance for you guys to select the best product for your customers. That's got to start with you before we start blowing any trumpets of suppliers. You need to choose. How does that process come about?
It's quite a painstaking, or used to be quite a painstaking, trying to find the right supplier.
Yeah.
Trying to find the right product, the right guarantee, so that which you can then pass on that guarantee and product to your customers. I suppose, although the question was start with TWC, that journey of finding the right supplier was a journey that we took very seriously. I don't want to name any names, so I don't want to start smearing companies, but if you take a selection in any area, company A, B, C, D, E, and F, because that's how competitive our marketplace is.
Yeah.
Normally A, B, C, D, and F will buy from the same factory, and the only real difference between A, B, C, D, and F is the margin that they'll create, the guarantees they may give in their service.
Yeah.
But the actual window being installed or the door being installed is exactly the same. What we wanted to do was not be part of that, and unless you manufacture your own, which comes at great expense. Just one saw's over £1 million.
Reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. You're sort of stuck with that. We called it the rat run almost. It's race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, I think it's about 8 now, I might be wrong, 8 years. Time does fly, we're all getting older. But sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. I had to get it in. We started on hair. No, but about 8 years ago, we were approached by Conservatory Outlet, who are our manufacturer supplier. They're our partner.
So is that, sorry?
Conservatory Outlet.
Conservatory
They
Outlet.
are our partners, really. I mean, we're independently owned by me and Joe, but we've been in partnership now with them now for 8 years. And they had a philosophy that was different to other manufacturers. And actually, when we first met Conservatory Outlet, I won't say exactly what we said, but they did this sort of speech and pitch, and what they said is, guys, we're not going to sell to anybody else in your area. We're not interested in selling loads of different windows to loads of different companies.
50p on every horse in the road.
We're interested in working with a dealer within an area to sell our exclusive Extreme branded product, we're going to give it a 20-year guarantee. We're going to do this on everything, not just the frame, but the glass, the handles, and Joe will go into more detail about that, I'm sure. But and we sort of didn't believe that.
Well, he said it sounds great. You know,
sounds great.
It sounds great, but you know,
normally sound too good to be true, doesn't
exactly.
it?
And it was like, come on, you know, that's not going to happen.
And yeah, being honest, 8 years later, they've kept absolutely to their word. And what it does is we don't compete against anybody else in our whole area, which is Oxfordshire and Swinton and Wiltshire, and Salisbury area as well. Basically, postcodes SN, OX and SP is our main categorised area. We don't compete against anybody else that's selling our Extreme rated window. It's manufactured specifically for us. If you want this window, you have to buy it from TWC. You can't buy it anywhere else.
Yeah,
other than said, other than pick up your house and move it.
Absolutely, yeah. The big thing for me was, and I often say this to customers, is we used to do what everyone else does. Yeah. And we used to buy our windows and doors from a trade counter where, let's be honest, if Bob the builder down the road wanted to fit his own windows, he would go to the same supplier. Other builders are available.
Other cartoons are available as well. Yeah.
But yeah, no, if someone was a bit handy and they thought, well, I'm going to do my own windows and replace my own windows, they could go to the same trade counter and get the same window and fit it themselves. Whereas actually what we wanted, something that was exclusive. And yeah, we met Conservatory Outlet. They were very keen because of this area to, for us to get on board with them. But yeah, I must admit, at the start, it was a bit like, come on, 20-year guarantee sounds great. Where's the small print
on the glass?
Yeah.
And
on staying white? Did I hear you say?
Yeah. It's all virgin UPVC and everything like that, so it doesn't discolour. So we came on board with those guys, and it was actually the fact that they've got this product that carries a 20-year guarantee. It's A+ rated in terms of energy efficiency. It's secured by design, which we can go into a bit more detail. And yeah, the actual product itself is completely exclusive to us. So yeah, the only way someone in SN, OX or SP could get a Conservatory Outlet window is if they if they're not going to get it from TWC, is pick the house up and put it in a different postcode.
Yeah, exactly. And the name Conservatory Outlet is actually a misnomer, isn't it? Because it's not just conservatory.
I think they have considered changing that a few times. I think it originally, started with Conservatory Outlet, and it was a conservatory that developed and grown over the last 20 odd years into something amazing.
Which now means it's the lot, isn't it? The windows.
Yeah, the windows and doors is majority of their business actually. And it's funny because we talk about the product, but actually what this became is because you're not competing against anybody in your area, you then start becoming really close friends with other businesses that buy off of Conservatory Outlet, and became almost like it is really now. It's a network of like-minded companies.
28 of them?
28 including us, yes.
Including
and we've become wonderful friends. We go away once a year as a group and do a gala award dinner, which is a national award dinner. And also we meet up with the directors all the time. We're actually going to Manchester. Is it Manchester?
Yeah, doing they've got an ops event and then they've got a sales event where everyone comes and basically shares that information, because I always say it's that thing that you don't. We're in our own little bubble, and we're trying to navigate our way through as a business and trying to make sure that we're successful and everything's working well and things like that. But actually you never really get the opportunity. And if we go into a rival window company down the road and say, could you give us a few tips about how you're doing this, we'd be laughed out the building, but actually because we're all trying to do the same thing but in a different area, and there's certain things that are a bit regional that maybe might not cross paths, but generally speaking, most of what we do, whether it be lead generation, whether it be, the product, whether it be guaranteed, fitting, all the things that, on our cog, well, actually they're all trying to do the same thing,
and they could be situational, specific occurrences that they'll go, actually, this is good for you to be aware of.
Massive conservatory, with a roof that we've never fitted, we can literally pick up the phone, if you guys fitted something like this before, and these are the things you want to be careful of, and on a case by case basis, that's brilliant. But actually, more so, it's more of a you guys have been in business for 30 years. As I said, there's a company up in Scotland, which are 5th generation, Mitchell Glass.
120 years.
125 years. They just celebrated they started off as
they've forgotten more
company.
About windows than most people know, and
we've got other companies, Trademark, been around 32 years.
Well, that does surprise me. Normally when you bring up Mitchell Glass, you do mention that you walked a mountain with him.
I did walk a mountain with him. I've actually walked 27 mountains with him because we did the 3 peaks, and then obviously we did.
So it's just you normally bring that in. I didn't know whether you wanted. Was that a cue for me?
It was cue for you. Big charity walk.
You're a bit late coming in with it.
Yeah. Sorry. Didn't get the cue quite right. No, but Joe's right.
And it's these guys that are actually have been, a couple of them as 2nd generation, 3rd generation, bits and pieces like that. Well, actually, we can go to those guys and say, look, these are the things that we're sort of struggling with, to get to that next step, that next stage. Yeah. How do you find that? Well, look, you've got to be careful of this, you've got to navigate this, and genuinely have sort of a shared interest, because it isn't just, I take from you. It's a two-way thing.
Yeah, you'll have experiences that you can feedback and everything. It's like
brilliant.
That.
These events that are put on, you every time you go to one, you learn something. You learn something. You take something out of there, and it's just a great sharing of, and the installation department are probably where it gains most. It's that ability, we have before sent an installer up to another company to help them finish a project, and because we're all fitting the same product and there's no competition, it's really good to be able to share resources and stuff. So we're really.
And famously, Andy did quite a big speech last year at Old Trafford.
Well, some have said it was the best speech ever.
Yeah.
At Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford. Yeah.
Well,
I think since Fergie's left, surely, but
Ten Hag, he asked for. Maybe he'd still be there if he'd have listened to some of the advice.
No, but on a serious one, he went up there, did a speech about canvassing and proactive leads and bits and pieces like that, and it was really great for the guys to learn that, because some of them don't do it, and actually since then some of them have started proactive canvas and bits and pieces like that. So it really is, and again, so just going back to what we said at the start, I think sometimes, I don't know, these kind of, we're often a little bit suspicious or a bit suspect about, this kind of, let's go to a networking event and let's do this and do that. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's great. We can all talk a lot of flannel. We can all talk about how great we are and how great our business is. Whereas actually, this is actually getting down to the nuts and bolts of it, to the point where, if someone's almost struggling or, they're finding it hard, well, actually, we're there at the end of a phone, or a Teams call or something like that to actually help.
Strikes me as being beneficial clearly to you. And I know we've had conversations where it's helped the business evolve technically, commercially.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Which therefore, comes off onto us as consumers, is that we're going to benefit from that as well, because we know that the operation's getting slicker, it's getting more secure, everything is good, so we benefit as consumers as well.
Yeah, definitely. And some of the companies that are within the network, that we've been able to learn off of and develop with and help, and they help us. And you've got Jodan in Tewkesbury, they're a massive aluminium manufacturer and window and door fitting company. You've got Eden over in Gillingham, you've got Trademark in Reading, Permaframe in Somerset. Some of these companies have been going for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Obviously Mitchell Glass, over 100 years.
But equally, I would imagine that there could be benefits from someone who's a lot younger and started out. Old dog, new tricks for these people who've been for a long time. New ones and go, well, actually, have you considered this? Social media's a thing, or whatever else it might be.
We went to the first gala, didn't we, in Belfast, and we were kind of the new kids on the block. We were a little bit different to a lot of these guys and stuff like that.
It doesn't mean you're suddenly getting it right, but there's things that because everybody stayed in their way and you've kind of gone, well,
Joey famously did the first speech in one of their galas.
I did a pretty, a speech which has gone down.
Did he get shushed?
No, but he got just the second speech, so we weren't going to bring that up. But yeah, the first speech went down really well. The second speech, I mean, if we could clip that, the second speech didn't go down as well. And we were in the Tower of London. I felt he was going to get locked up there. So, no, but joking aside.
Too much to
water only.
Don't put on a free bar.
Don't put on a free bar. But no, these events are fantastic. And actually, going back to the point of difference, it enables us to compete in a market where the national companies have got so much clout with their advertising and their product because they manufacture for themselves. It allows us to compete with the national companies in regards to the quality of product that we've got, but also offer something that no other national company does, with that local feel, that local touch, that local benefit of having a showroom locally.
Economies of scale.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's almost like the best of both worlds for the customer, because let's be honest, you know, especially certainly recently, there's been a real shift, I think, for a lot of customers where, you know, shop local, using that local companies. We speak to customers all the time, you know, why have you chosen us, and bits and pieces like that. And one of the big things is the fact that we are a local family-run company, and we shout that from the rooftops. You know, we're very proud of that, and we would never want to be anything other than a local family-run company. But actually, what being in partnership with these other companies and Conservatory allows us to do is almost have the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Be that local family-run company, but actually have the backing of what is essentially a national company.
Yeah, just don't go using, what's that, small enough to care, big enough to, I can't remember what the policy is.
Yeah, small enough to care, big enough to
everybody uses
cope.
that.
We'll have to tell our social media team to cut that now, because that was our idea. Sorry, Sarah.
But, so, I mean, this is, we need to get Conservatory Outlet on at some point, Greg.
Well,
we have asked Greg, and he has said he'll do one.
Through gritted teeth.
Through gritted teeth. So, yeah.
But that will enable us to get a bit more technical, because I know you guys are very positive and effusive about the technology that's in these products as much as anything else. I mean, it's great. We can come down to this showroom, your showroom, that I know it is a big deal to you guys, that we can come and see the windows, the doors, the conservatories. We're in a lovely orangery
at the
now.
moment.
It's been listening.
Exactly. I'm learning.
Become a bit of a fan of ours.
I am. I'm fanboy. But, you know, the point being is there's a lot of technology that isn't necessarily obvious until it's explained what it's doing.
Yeah, and also how they got to, you know, why it is that they've decided to go down that road rather than just trying to supply to as many companies as possible.
Have you got any headline points that you could share with us without us going into too much detail, so we can get Greg on in more detail? Some headline key points that really stand out for you.
I think one of the biggest things for them, for us, is the 20-year guarantee.
Understandably.
It's absolutely massive.
Yeah.
It's double the amount of a normal guarantee on the plastic
it is
product.
10 normally, isn't it?
Now, but also if you read a lot of the terms and conditions of guarantees, and I really do ask you to read them.
A lot of get-out clauses.
The only thing that is generally guaranteed for the 10 or 15 years that these companies offer this beautiful guarantee on is the plastic. Now, the plastic isn't going anywhere. It's why we're not allowed plastic straws anymore, you know. So the plastic really, apart from the colour that may lose a bit of a fading colour, the plastic isn't really going to go wrong unless they've not reinforced it because of the weight and then it bows. It's not really going to go wrong. I don't want to go too technical on it.
No.
But so actually the parts of the window and the parts of the doors that do need a good guarantee for customer, you know, security or safety is the moving parts. So many guarantees, 1, 2, up to 4, 5 years. You have to pay for you get the parts for free, but the labour cost, they charge you a call out fee. There's so many things about the guarantees. If you read the actual small print, then you read our small print, there isn't any. Yeah. You will guarantee it for 20 years. The glass, the handles, the locks, it's guaranteed for 20 years.
Yeah, because the handles really do become a nightmare, don't they?
Yes.
And because we use all of our own installers as well, so we guarantee the fitting as well. So the whole thing is covered for 20
which
years.
again sort of crosses over to the point that we were talking about before, with it being with a Conservatory Outlet, and it's this strong relationship is that your guys are fully trained up on this suite of product to do the fitting.
And they only fit that product, you know, and that's one of the big things we talk about is the fact that, well, one of the reasons we use all of our own installers is we don't subcontract, is because actually if you've got, you know, Fred that's working for one company one week, another the next, doing a bit of private work, then he's going to fit someone else. Well, you're actually using a different product all the time. Our guys just use our product.
I think the key thing about the installation is the contract you have with your installations. So when you purchase off of company A and they use subcontractors, company A will have a separate contract on the installation of your windows with that with the fitter.
Yep.
So if something goes wrong with the fitting of that product, they're going to want to send back this installer because obviously they've paid this installer and that's the contract they've got to go and sort that work out. Of course, there then becomes an argument between company and fitter, trying to get the fitter back who's out trying to earn money to feed his family. there's that argument. Now, whilst all that's going on, the customer sat there.
I don't care whose fault it is,
Yeah.
just get it sorted.
So with us, we take away that. With every contract we've got of our installation teams, if something's wrong with the installation, we take that on board and do that as well. So it's just important. But obviously, it's difficult to discuss this type of thing with customers because it all sounds, but that's the sort of science behind the guarantee is why 100%, we do what we do.
And that was why I think this was probably even like in my head when I spoke to you guys before we started doing this, is that I think that this was an example episode that I had in my head straight away, because it's like, no, we need people to see that this is the case and to help understand why is that important, how does that apply, because let's be honest, we've been talking about things where it helps your business. Well, as a customer, I probably don't care. Well, yes, I do, because I need you to still be here. I need you to have the right infrastructure to be able to support it, to still be there to call on if there's anything to enact the guarantee or whatever. So it all does sort of add up and make sense. So it is a very important point of difference.
And I think on that, I think one of the big things about what it is that we do, we often talk about a big window installation or an extension or something like that, is essentially that often the second most expensive thing customers ever bought, other than their house or possibly their car. But and so therefore it's so important to not just know about the product, but actually who's fitting it, who's guaranteeing it. Absolutely. Because actually, obviously we give an insurance-backed guarantee as well. So if anything was to ever happen to the company, obviously the customer's still covered. But obviously us giving that 20-year guarantee, if that company's no longer about, well, that guarantee is not worth the paper it's printed on.
Exactly.
So they need to know not just all of the details of it. Well, and also they need to know that the company, as you said, is still going to be around to honour that guarantee.
No, I agree.
And that's a big part of it.
I agree. I mean, that said, as I would say, a flip side to give an even deeper level of security for people. Heaven forbid something went wrong with TWC, because it's going straight to the manufacturer, conservatory outlet, is that's going to be taken care of. Even in that situation. So there's this wonderful sort of security policy that...
There's also,
I'm not saying you are going to, obviously.
Yeah, no. That's like an anxiety, isn't it?
I can see.
Yeah, are you all right, mate?
Do you know something we don't?
But do our customers not like us? No, but I think, and I think having that ability to have what makes the national company strong is the structure around the national company. It's the people within the business. Obviously, when you're dealing in a localized area, you've got great local people, but you've got the people you've got with the network that we're in. You've got the support of great other businesses, and Clearview, for example, they've won the G Awards in the 22, 23 and 24, 3 years on a trot. No one's ever done that. They're part of the network. They're part of the industry, they're part of the close-knit companies that we're in. And only last week we were in a meeting with them trying to improve the way that we deliver on living spaces and how take tips from them. And of course, they're not going to be giving those tips to their competition.
No,
so it's great for us to be able to access that at all times, isn't it?
And I know we're going to talk about it in more detail, but you mentioned awards, and obviously I insisted that some of them are on here. We've got more over there, but the point being is you guys are finalists for another award next month as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been shortlisted for the Southwest Business Awards.
I love that.
And then we've both been pitted against each other in the Entrepreneur Award.
You got practice saying that.
Thank
you.
you.
You'll be able to win that if you can't say it, mate.
Yeah. So this is.
And he's been pitching longer.
Yeah.
No,
I know he was ill.
Yeah. Well, he had since Joe's turned 40, he's had some time off ill recently, haven't you?
Doesn't happen a lot, mate. So it gets remembered when it happens.
So he's So I don't believe he was ill. I think
congratulations though for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're doing a big sort of gala dinner, aren't they?
Shindig over it.
Shindig at the Hilton. So we're really proud. I think there was. I think they said something like 6,500 companies or something like that entered, and then. That we've obviously been shortlisted, which is something we're really proud of.
Oh, absolutely. And, again, we're seeing why this is the case. I mean, one thing I noticed that I forgot to mention is that you were saying about learning and bouncing off of this network that you are part of.
Yeah.
I know that it included things like the introduction to the CAD drawings and
just so many
the CAD systems.
So many things as as a business that you've developed over time with the network. It's incredible, you know.
But the reason why I bring that up, because that's a big deal for the quoting, is that me as a potential consumer, I'm able to actually see this.
Yeah.
You're able to, I remember you talking about where you're able to identify areas of concern before anything starts.
So
construction.
There's a few different pricing tools that we use through the network, and it's the ability to take your house, put the windows in that you're wanting to look at, and changing the colours. And I always remember that customer that wanted grey, wanted anthracite grey, had another quote off another company for anthracite grey, was certain they wanted anthracite grey. We sent over the quote in anthracite grey, but we took a picture of their house and put the anthracite grey windows and doors into the house, superimposed it, which is something we do on every quote. And rang back and said, I'm so glad you did that, because I really don't like anthracite grey in my house. And being able to show customers that and that technology behind that was something that, you know, is fantastic to be part of with the network. And it's that, again, it's that difference between us and other companies. It's just trying to make sure that we show you everything.
Well, because someone's going to be the first one to come across new technology. That's a fact.
And you've got to, you've got to always be moving forward. You know, and we've always said that if you stand still, you move backwards. It's simple as that, because all your competition is going to be moving forward. But a big one for us. And again, you talk about the journey that we've been on. When we used to go out and price windows and doors, we used to go out, with the tape measure and draw little squares on a piece of paper, and that was it. That was our contract.
Mine weren't really squares.
Yours. The surveyor often thought that Andy's, young child.
They were all bespoke sign.
whereas now we go out, like I said, we take a picture of the house, we superimpose it in, we can show you what it would look like with this handle, with this glass, with that colour. And actually, like you said, for the customer's journey, that is just night and day, isn't it? Really, in terms of what they're able to do. Then obviously you've got with the extensions in living spaces, how we're able to show them what that looks like, inside, outside. There's technology which is on the way, which we're really excited about. Virtual reality, you can put on a VR headset and walk around your conservatory, and all those sorts of things is all about getting better from the customer's point of view, but it's almost always being on the edge of what is next, because that's so important.
And that's something we work a lot on with our network. It's always trying to push forward. What is the next best product? What is the next? We've got exciting news coming out of a new range of products that we're going to be releasing soon, that we're really excited about, that we think are going to be fantastic. But it's just it's always just trying to stay ahead and ahead and ahead.
Absolutely.
And actually doing that on your own is really difficult, but doing it with 27 other like-minded people is really impressive. And that for me is probably one of the biggest things that stands us apart from our competition. It isn't just the product, it's the showroom, it's just everything. It all adds up to bring a much greater service.
And even down to, I would imagine, I might be wrong on this one, but it's like even, say it's new products and someone's already been running with it and had opportunities where there's interest, and they've gone through the pricing and the technical spec up, and now suddenly turn around and go, guys, just so you're aware, with this, make sure me as a consumer, I'm sat there going, great, so you're going to get it right from the first time.
Yeah.
Both quote and the job itself.
It was amazing. I won't name any products because it's not fair, but a product was trialed within the network, and we decided, because in these meetings you have the option to opt into a trial and a guinea pig, a new product. We decided to take a step on. We've done it before, where we've been the leaders in the first of it. This product we didn't. And there were some problems, but what was great is all those problems were dealt with, and then we jumped on the product as well. And before you know it, it works. So it's great to be part of that, because it's exciting as well, especially when we had the Yale Sense Check come out, didn't we? We were one of the first doing that, where you've got the home security app, and you can see if you've left windows and doors open and stuff. I think we did a podcast maybe about that. We did, didn't we?
One of our
first ones, and having that ability, and there were obviously sort of obstacles in the way when that product was released and stuff, and minor hiccups, but it worked fantastic.
And we did a lot of the donkey work for the other guys on that particular one, and it's like, well, realistically, Andy and I might have these fantastic dreams of things we want to achieve and things we want to aspire to within the business, but there are limitations. Whereas actually, when you come at it, as 28 like-minded people, well, actually, your strength might be that you can run with that, you can iron out the problems, and then give it to us when it's ready. And actually, that works really, really well. And we always feel like we always want to be getting better, getting bigger, improving, every day, every week, every month, and that's what we're all about.
And I'm assuming one other benefit with it direct to the manufacturers is that you're actually able to give feedback to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not just to each other, but that can go to even with the strength of all of you, but that can go to the manufacturer and go, guys, this is we need this.
Yeah.
Whatever, and they're able to react.
And I think another thing, again, from a customer's point of view, is the fact that sometimes you can be a small fish in a big pond or something like that. But actually, when it comes to the manufacturing, it's all made up in it's all British made. It's all made up in Yorkshire, in Wakefield. And basically, if there's ever a problem with a big job, we can jump straight on it. And actually, we've become, over the last 8 years, one of their main customers. Mm-hmm. So actually, if we pick up the phone and say, guys, this has gone horribly wrong, which can happen, doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen. This has gone horribly wrong. We need you to remake this. We need you to sort this, get a new window, get a new door, whatever it might be. They can jump straight on that. And rather than just, us ringing up as one of 1,000 customers that's saying, Mrs. Smith is annoyed because of that window. We're ringing up as one of 28, but also one of the biggest within that 28, and that can be resolved. Exactly. So that's massive.
And that's a great confidence factor as well, then, isn't it? Because do you guys ever have it? I'm kind of thinking aloud, and this might go really wrong now.
That's
but I was about to say, there is a huge advantage for keeping it local, but sometimes people can go, well, does that mean you're just small? You're just a little. Do you ever have that people misinterpret how significant
I'll be honest, I feel like we get misinterpreted the opposite way, actually.
Oh, really?
Because
I think you're too big.
Yeah, because of the website and the technology and the guarantee, and then you come in. Some of that's being changed.
Semi-viral on TikTok, and
some of that's being changed with the mullet. But no, I think when you come to the showroom, we only had a customer in here last week, and they were sort of, okay, so you're part of a national,
Which actually is an interesting one, isn't it? Because I know you're incredibly proud, and rightly so, of this showroom, and I do recommend it. If you've not been down here, get down and have a look. Seriously, it's so cool that you get to see such a variety. I still am madly in love with your bar conservatory, as you know.
we know, Chris. Every time you come in here, you sort of...
They tried to record
it at the bar, which I was like, well, no, should we keep it professional?
It's got optics in it, for God's sake. It's brilliant. But as you rightly said, one of the reasons why you're proud is that not that many people the companies have showrooms for us to come and have a look in. So, but that then has its sort of, double jeopardy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pitfalls. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? We talk about the fact that we're local family-run company, but actually, yes, maybe if we don't explain it, then maybe people walking in here might think...
Because this was a goal you guys had. I know from when we talked about the history, you had a dream, without meaning to sound Martin Luther King.
No, I thought you were going. I really did that. I'm glad you said it. I was a bit like, bloody hell.
But don't shush me when I'm doing this motivational piece. That's
wow.
just him.
Wow, you did get shushed yesterday, actually, Joe. Because Joe likes to waffle a little bit, especially as
it's not waffling, is it? It's just, drilling home your body.
Joe likes to waffle. He'll often repeat himself multiple times. We could be talking about one subject, and Joe will... He's got a spiel of about 8 minutes that he'll sometimes drop in. And yesterday, when we were doing a training meeting with some designers actually at Trademark, wasn't it, just down the road in Reading? One of the trademark designers shushed Joe, which was
I was quite taken aback. I was just sort of getting into the flow about, you got to do this, you got to do that.
And I did say to
I was. He is correct. I was shushed. Made Andy's day.
Made my day. It made my year, actually. Yeah. I wanted to do the podcast just about that.
Yeah, you did.
And I was kicked back. But yeah, it was fantastic.
Luckily, I rolled with the punch. Yeah, and I still managed to get it in about 10 minutes later.
Well, I almost missed the shush because I know, been in business with him, guys, so I know exactly he'll do this movement like that with his hands. If you've ever watched any of our videos, that is literally the hand. It reminds me of the Talladega Nights films, when the Will does that. I don't know what to do with my hands, so he does it.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Be good just to hold them down by your side. Yeah, great.
Well, we're real happy with what was going on, and at the end of the day, you got to be happy.
But he was just about to do that, so I'd switched off and gone sort of into
glazed over,
just frozen in time, and then Justin but he sort of jumped in and went, shit, we know that. You've told us that before. It's fantastic.
Well, I always say if something's worth saying once, it's worth saying several times.
Not multiple of thousands would be lovely.
I'll set off for saying this just once though. Is it was your dream
Yes.
to have a showroom? It was part and parcel of what you wanted. You came into this set up elsewhere in the industry. TWC was set up to do it how you believed it should be done and wasn't being done.
Yeah.
And that did include that you felt the ability for people to come and have a look and play around with the things was the next step. But it's just so unfortunate that you've even got to then explain that away.
But it's also nice. I think we take it as a bit of a compliment because when you come in here, it doesn't look like other showrooms where it's sort of, and I'm not, but local showrooms that we've been to in the past. Yeah. It does look like a splendid showroom. It's done properly. It's clean. It's tidy. It's got the modern technology.
And I think that like we said at the start of the podcast, the whole point was about that point of difference. What is it about TWC that is a point of difference? Yeah. Talked about the conservatory outlet, talked about the product, what that means to the customer. But actually we champion and shout from the rooftops, about this showroom, because actually, yes, you've got the virtual showroom on the website where people can look around, and that's great, if you can't come down, but actually nothing beats coming in. And I was literally on Monday with a customer that we'd been out to see. They came in, lived about an hour away, they drove all the way here, and they wanted to see the doors, because he said, look, it was great. It was great that you superimposed it. It was great that you told me all about it, but I'm not going to spend, a decent amount of money on or something until I've seen it. And she came down, we went through it all, and it was, although I know that, it's always nice when you do actually hear it from the customer. They said, and I said, this is the whole point of why we built the showroom. The blood, sweat and tears of it was for that exact exchange, which happened on Monday.
She was funny as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was brilliant.
When she came over, she said, have you got the door that I actually want here? And I was sort of like, I don't know if the actual door you want here. It actually was, I believe. It's just quite funny. We've got about 18 doors, but you need 100 if you add every door.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be either you're lucky or it's the close one, but still 18 doors. 18. You've got a load of different windows set up on walls, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
living spaces.
Living spaces,
and each different type of roof is manufactured. Each different type of roof that's manufactured, and we supply with the guarantees. Yeah. This is in here, so you can see each and every single one. And again, it was just being that point of difference with the guarantees.
Absolutely.
So you can see what it looks like.
Well, and in fact, on that, you mentioned about the roofs and bits and pieces. There's certain products that we used to stock, which actually we've stopped stocking, haven't we? Because they wouldn't give us a 20-year guarantee. Obviously, there's certain things that we don't get from conservatory outlets or more obscure products and things like that. And actually, certain ones of them, Andy and I made the decision that, where we talk so proudly about this 20-year guarantee, there's no point us doing that and saying, actually this one only gets a 10-year guarantee. It just doesn't quite sit right. Yeah. So we won't stock anything that doesn't give a 20-year
And I bring it back to that network. If we go to a particular company for a particular product asking for a 20-year guarantee, that company, if they look at us and it's a little company in Swindon, it's Oxford to Swindon area, that the conversation is very difficult when you go to them with 28 of you and say, we want this product because this is an obscure product. We would like this product, so we'd like a 20-year guarantee. The conversation is a lot easier, isn't it, to have with 27 other people asking the same question. So it just gives you that ability to get what you want, get the customer the security and sort of safety in the 20-year guarantee, in knowing that. And I say this to customers, I always try and be as honest as you can be with the guarantee. The reason you get a guarantee is because the product may fail at some point in the future, because no product is absolutely perfect. And that's why you get a guarantee. Because in the future, something might go wrong with that window or door, and we may need to come out and install it. Because if there was no chance of that ever happening, we wouldn't bother with a guarantee.
Give it a 100-year guarantee.
Exactly. So what would be the point of a guarantee? So therefore, with a 20-year guarantee, we want the customer to know that's what is solid.
We're sat there knowing this thing is going to continue to work one way or another for the next 20 years.
And if it doesn't, we'll fix it.
Well, that's what I mean, one way or the other.
We'll replace it.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, I think the big thing, we're very sort of involved in the business. We're speaking to customers all the time and stuff like that. We're quite hands-on. And actually, a lot of customers, when you explain to them it's got a 20-year guarantee, if they're of a certain age, if they don't have any hair or something like that. And,
That's quite nasty, actually.
That was, wasn't it?
they might turn around and say, well, why do I care about a 20-year guarantee? And a
I
lot
won't
of
be here long.
a lot of them turn around and say, I'm not going to be here for that 20-year guarantee. And I would say the same thing. It isn't the fact that famously, hence why I get shushed. I would say the same thing to them, and explain to them about the window. I say, well, it's not. We don't give you this 20-year guarantee so that in 19 and a half years' time you can ring up and say, I've got a scratch in my handle. We give this 20-year guarantee actually because it's the confidence in this product from ourselves and the people that make it, that they have over-engineered it, they've over-tested it, they've got a machine in the factory that tests it, 50,000 times open and shut so that it outlasts that guarantee. From a customer's point of view, that hopefully should give them the confidence in the product and in us that actually this is the right option for them. And that's more important than that.
To get rid of that worry that says, okay, so I could spend this amount of money that, as you said, it's going to be an investment. And in 5 years' time, it could be cream crackered. You're going to go, no, do you know what? I'm not bother or whatever else. Whereas it's like, no, it's got that guarantee. It's a great piece of
mind. And
mind.
a great question and a great thing that I've often thought about when we were doing this guarantees and what do you offer and how you do this and stuff like that is if you've got a product that you claim is so good and it's as good as say window company A, the product is exactly the same as ours apparently, like for like, yes, we don't offer the same guarantee, but it is the same product, a window's a window. Well, if you're that confident in your product, why wouldn't you give it the same guarantee?
Exactly, yeah.
Why is your guarantee less if you're that confident? If you're saying that the window is the same as what we do,
then it could have it,
then,
and it was still
then no problem. Put that guarantee on it then, and have the confidence to do that rather than not. And there's a reason why you don't.
Yeah, no.
And also, we talked a lot about the guarantee. For me as well, I'm quite a product guy. I'm very proud of the window and bits and pieces like that, famously. The other things as well about it, which are a point of difference. Everything we do is A+ rated. So in terms of when you get an energy rated certificate, everything we do is A+. So it's not the glass. It's not the frame, it's the whole window. It is A+, which is massive.
Often you can claim it's an A-rated window, but it's not because you're only testing the glass.
There's an element to it.
And it's only going to be as strong as the weakest link.
100%. Yeah. Energy efficiency is like electricity. It will always look for the weakest part. And if you've got fantastic glass, people often say that, can I swap the glass for energy efficient glass? Yeah, of course you can. It's not going to do any good because you've still got a hollow frame or you've still got a window that has got big gaps in the side. You've got whistling wind coming in. The other thing as well is obviously, which we again shout from the rooftops, is about the fact that it's a secured by design product. But again, a lot of companies claim to have secured by design, but it's the handle that's secured by design signed off, whereas ours, again, is the whole product, and so the whole thing is secured by design.
Secured by design, you can literally go on their website, type in our manufacturer, and it will come up that they're manufactured by Conservatory Outlet, and they are a secured by design product.
And that's the thing, it's about backing it up. It's all well and good.
That is what it sounds like. That's to keep the burglars out.
Yeah, so Secured by Design was basically started by two retired police officers that felt the security of windows and doors wasn't adequate. So they created a testing process where they get ex-thieves to try and break into the windows. Now, they always get in, but it's about how long it takes them and how much noise they've got to make. And obviously ours are tested to the highest degree. And so, in order to get into our windows, you need to make one hell of a racket, and it's going to take you a very, very long time. And thieves just simply won't do that. They're opportunists. They're looking at, right, we won't do here, let's go elsewhere. And it's like people often say that having an alarm box on the front of your house is as effective as having an alarm, because they see it, don't go here, go somewhere else. And that's,
totally right.
If you've got the crown jewels in there, then someone's going to find a way into your house. But actually, for most of our customers, it's about, putting in a product, which, again, going back to the confidence factor, putting in a product that they feel confident that, they can go to bed, they can lock the door and, and not worry about it.
I'm not going to go on about this bit for too long because we covered it quite a lot in the last episode, I think it was. But one of the other things where we're talking about this point of difference, and it really stood out as me, a good one, was the WhatsApp group that you do per project.
Yeah.
So as soon as I come in and I'm buying whatever it is I'm buying, you guys instantly set up this WhatsApp group with me, with the fitters, with whoever else needs to be involved, so that everybody is involved in discussions during the process and anything thereafter.
Yeah, so
that was a big one for me.
That project management level that we try and trying to apply to every customer. At the moment, it is only being done on the living spaces and some larger window door projects. We're testing that theory though, because we are in the middle of developing our own CRM system to actually improve the customer relationship journey with a customer. There's some amazing things that I won't go into.
Well, because you identified that the biggest issue
is communication.
So exactly. Because if you don't hear anything about it, you assume the worst by nature.
And communication is really difficult to do as well, because one thing that you sometimes forget, and it's something that we talk a lot about with our staff and because of the WhatsApp groups, is if you can imagine a customer's got an issue with an installation that's currently going on, say, and we're sat doing this podcast for 45 minutes so far, and the customer's ringing me now. Obviously, I'm not going to answer that phone call at the minute because I haven't got my phone on me. But 45 minutes is quite a long time for a customer to get frustrated if they want an answer.
It'd feel like forever, wouldn't it?
It's a long time. So trying to bridge that gap of communicating. Now, I could be the best communicator in the world, but I'm not going to pick up the phone now. No. And if I ring you back in 45 minutes, you might have gone out shopping, you might have gone to work. Well, actually, tomorrow we might not. You might have an early shift, and I might. Do you know what I mean? So that's where that point of difference in the WhatsApp group really helps. It gives you access to our staff. You can see when people have read it because it blue ticks. There's no hiding from it. You know when someone's read the messages, and it really gives you that point of difference. We're doing it with living spaces at the moment in some larger window products. With the new CRM, there are discussions going on at the moment. Should we offer this to every product? Because actually, a customer is a customer. It shouldn't matter what you buy or what you haven't installed. It should matter about the journeys the same.
It's just there's less involved, isn't it? It's when there's a lot of moving pieces.
So we're going to test something.
And the idea of it is as well is, like some people might have emails, that's great. You buy something, it's like nowadays, you buy something, you get sent about 10 emails, don't you? And, and everything like that. They're trying to get you to review it before you've even got it and all that sort of stuff. But actually, a lot of people, have emails on their phone. Whereas realistically, we've all got a phone. Generally, we all use WhatsApp and stuff like that. So it's trying to find something that's easy for the customer to use and easy for our guys. It's just second nature now.
And there's some really exciting things coming out with the new CRM that, again, will add to this point of difference and add to what we do differently.
In which case, the key point being there is this point of difference, you said earlier, doesn't stand still.
No.
Is that you're constantly trying to
we will 100% be better in 6 months' time, and then in a year's time
we'll be better. That's the beauty of technology, isn't it? It's a nightmare because it never stands still, but it's brilliant because it never stands still.
Definitely.
And I think that's what you guys are clearly embracing now, which is really impressive.
Well, I tried to sort of chat AI this whole podcast and not turn up to it today, but maybe next time I'm
what people
a hologram.
What people don't realise is not actually there. He's not there. The reputation, this is all working as well because the reputation that you guys have got is clearly working as well. The reviews are good.
They're good. They could always be better. They're very good. We're really proud of our
reviews. We're very proud of that. It's plastered on the side of the building, actually, the fact that we've got over 1,600
Yeah, I found that quite icky, actually. I was like, because we don't really like that. I don't like that sort of shouting about how great we are.
I love it.
I was at a conference last week with Theo Pafitis, just to name drop, because I've won awards with him as well.
Other businessmen are.
Other dragons are available.
I always preferred Peter James.
And it said that it's not bragging if you're sharing facts.
Yeah.
And I went, you know what, that's true, but as humans, especially British, we get so shy and everything about it. But it's like, hang on, it's not bragging if it's sharing facts.
I think the big thing for us, and I think you will agree, is it's never good enough.
Yeah,
agreed.
So it's got.
And I've definitely seen that from you guys.
It's got to get better. You have to get better. You have to give that journey. Even though I'm really proud of where we are now, and I genuinely believe if you have a living space or window project, I believe we offer the best service. I believe we offer the best communication, the best product, the best guarantee, and I genuinely believe that over anyone. But next year I want it to be better. And it's
that's what you went in.
Yeah.
This was set up with that whole ethos, wasn't it? This
Yeah.
is like, no, I don't like the way this is being done.
Yeah.
And I remember the phrase you guys used is that how you would want not just you, but your family to be treated if they were getting it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was one of your key remits.
And that's the thing with the reviews is, you know, our reviews, as I say, we've got over 1,600 reviews, and, you know, we don't hide. The thing I love about the reviews is that, you know, I say this to customers, if I go into a customer's house and say, if you don't like me, but you never ever use any of our products, there is nothing stopping you going online and saying this guy turned up, you know, in a mullet. He kept going on about the same
He
things.
mentioned I had no hair.
Yeah. You know, but that's absolutely fine. You can go on there, and you're not even our customer. We've never fitted a window or door in ever for you, but you can go on and you can give us a really bad review, and that's fine, and that's your prerogative. And that's actually what I like about the reviews, because we used to get people to review us on our website, but then they're pointless because you take off the bad ones, you know, and anyone would.
Or at least you could be assumed that that's
exactly,
what
you know, whereas they are good, bad and ugly. It's got everything on there. As I said, you know, an ex-member of staff who's a bit disgruntled could go on there and put a bad review on, you know, and all that sort of thing. So actually, we know statistically you're a lot more likely to give a bad review than a good review as well. So the fact that we've got all of those fantastic good reviews on there is an absolute testament to the staff, to the product, and to the
We don't
company as a
hide
whole.
reviews, and I
And the
always
staff was an important one with you
Yeah.
guys. I know you're
Yes,
proud
they
that it's been here for so long.
I do know with reviews, when you look at reviews sometimes and you go onto a company and they've got all good 5-star
Yeah,
reviews,
yeah.
every single one of their reviews is 5-star. They've been open 20 odd years
Yeah,
and they've got the last bad review is 4 years ago. That's just not real.
Yeah.
And one thing we've never done, we've never paid, I don't believe we've ever paid to have any review companies, and I don't believe we've ever done that. We don't pay it with a Google subscription. We don't remove any. I've never emailed Google and asked them to remove a bad review. We're just not interested. If the customer does a review,
You reply to
we
it.
reply
don't you?
to it.
Exactly.
And then if the customer, we sort the issue out and they want to remove that review, fantastic, because, you know, reviews can
up
be
to
removed
them.
by the customer.
Yeah.
But we've never got any external
I've
companies
always
remove
said with everything, as a consumer of products and services, is that, look, hey, mistakes happen.
Yeah.
I'll never lose sleep about that. It's how it's dealt
It's how you
with.
deal with it. Yeah.
You're gonna have-
And some people will. Some people, if we turn up with a window and it has a gold handle instead of a silver handle, some people will go on and give us a 1-star review. Fine, that's their prerogative. But what we will do is we will make sure we swap that straight away.
Yeah.
You know, and some people will then, you know, actually, when things go wrong,
Yeah.
sometimes you'll get a better review from a customer because it's gone wrong and you've shown them how it's gone right. You know.
Yeah. No, I get
I think it's
that.
important to have the good and the bad. You learn more from the bad than you do the good, don't you?
Yeah, we've made plenty of mistakes. We've, you know, plenty of jobs that have gone wrong, but we've always made sure we've got them right because we give them a 20-year guarantee.
Yeah.
And that's what I say to any new customer. I'm not going to sit here, you know, when you talk to customers about living spaces, you're almost sort of brutally honest
I love
about
it.
it. You know, and I'll say to customers, anyone that sits here and says this job is going to go perfectly is lying. They can't say that. But if something goes wrong, we'll resolve it as quickly as we can.
We came up against a national, I'm not going to name them, but the national about a living space, and the customer was sort of led to believe that having an 8-metre extension to get out in their garden was going to be an absolutely stress-free, lovely, beautiful valley of freedom and love. And, you know, I sat there and said, you know, we're going to be digging a huge hole in your garden. That's going to be noisy. The guys that come out to dig the hole, they're going to not like the same music as you, so they're probably going to be playing it. You know, they're going to need to use your toilet, or you're going to have a portaloo in your garden. None of these things is a lovely experience, you know, and to schedule it in properly and give you time zones and schedules properly so it's all done in a realistic schedule, and try and under promise and over deliver. All of that makes a huge difference. You know, we just try and make sure you
set the expectations right from the outset.
You know,
No,
it's
agree.
not nice, especially when we tell customers, yeah, we're gonna. My favourite one is when they're cutting out part of their house, and the look on their face when we say, yeah, we're gonna plastic sheet it, but if your house is old, especially if it's old, when we cut that that hole out, there's going to be 50, 60, 70 years worth of soot and dust that's going to go everywhere. And annoyingly, it will sit and it will hide behind the plastic sheet. And when we remove the plastic sheet, it will still come out. But you've just got to be real with people. And people react
appreciate
differently when you just tell them the truth, rather than, oh yeah, it's going to be
Because
good.
if you're forewarned and all that,
Don't worry, not a blade of grass in your garden will be ruined by us digging this huge.
might be a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, getting towards the conclusion of this
Yes.
then. I don't know whether you've got any answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway just in case.
Yeah.
Are there any frequently asked questions that you have that would be worth sharing an answer that you're frequently having to give? That's quite a tricky
I'm not
question.
sure why Joe does waffle on. I really don't know.
But, you know, whether it's
From a customer's point of
whether
view.
it's before they even get a quote, whether it's after they've got a quote the project or anything.
I think the biggest one for me, actually, and I again, because of this, talk about it, is the fact that we make no bones about the fact that we're a double glazing company. And double glazing salesmen are somewhere between parking wardens and solicitors in terms of mistrust. You know, and so again, what we try, we all, again, taking it back to the point of difference, what do we try and do? We try and do things differently. So, you know, we've got the showroom that people come and see us. We do a podcast so that people can, you know, if they're on the edge, they can maybe listen in. We've got a virtual showroom if you don't want to come into the showroom, and all these sorts of things. So we'll always, you know, the guys that come and work the prices out, you know, they're not pushy salesmen on a commission or anything like that. They work for the company. So all of these things we try and do is to try and be different. We don't want to be that, you know, sleazy double glazing salesman that turns up with the big gold watch.
And you don't get pounced on if you come into your showroom.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
was another key
Yeah,
thing.
and a big thing for me is, again, just going back to the reviews, we don't get just customers to review us about the job we've done. We get customers, you know, we've got reviews on there from door canvassers. You know, door canvassers that say, you know, knocked on the door, really nice chap, don't want anything at the moment, but, you know, I would recommend them. We've got reviews on there that we've gone to go and quote for a job and the customer hasn't gone ahead, but they've still taken their
process
time
was
out of their
enjoyable,
day
yeah.
to, you know, review a double glazing company that has gone in their house and pitched their product, and they've not gone ahead. You know, and that for me is something that we're really proud of. You know, and actually that for us is probably that point of difference. Well, you know, we don't want to be that sleazy double glazing company. We want to be a local family-run company that can come out. If you're interested and you want a quote for one window, we'll come out and give you a quote. You know, it doesn't matter. And if you like it, great. If you don't, you know where the bin is.
I think a question I get asked a fair bit, because I have quite a lot to do with the extensions and living spaces, is you'll get a customer that will see our advert online, they'll email in, you'll go out there, our guys will in the house design on, you put it on their telly, design it with them and price it, and then we'll often ask the customers to come back to the showroom and have a look at these roofs and, you know, look at them. And often the question we actually get asked is, oh, why do we need to come to the showroom? And I know that sounds a silly question to be asked, but it's a question we get asked a lot. Or why do we need to come to the showroom? We don't need to. We've had the quote, thank you. And you know, you would never buy a car, and these extension living spaces are a lot more expensive, some of them, than any of the cars you can buy. You wouldn't buy a car without test driving it. So if you've got the opportunity and you live within an hour and you've had a quote, get yourself down and have a look. When you buy a sofa, which isn't, most people go to a sofa shop to buy a sofa and sit on it. And you know, I said this to a customer once, you do understand that when we've built this, you're going to go to a sofa shop and sit on a sofa and buy one for this extension, aren't you? Yeah. Well, why would you go and have a look? When you buy the telly, you'll go and pop into Curry's or other places in your room, but you'll go and look at the TV, won't you? Yeah. Well, this is more important than all of those things, so come and have a look. And that's probably a question I get asked a bit, which is a bit of a strange one, because you wouldn't assume that's a question.
That I think that you guys have touched on previously, and I'm about to wrap this one up, but is something about the fixtures and fittings when you come into the living spaces, is that they kind of, like, we got this lovely thing here, and it's like they don't think about the fixtures and fittings.
Yeah. The lights, how many you want, where they're going to be, all that sort of thing. The final finishing touches are massive, you know. It's actually coming in and looking at whether you want shiny chrome or you want matte chrome, or, you know, those little things. Well, actually, they're the difference between, you know, I really like it and I love it. Just final thing, one thing I thought you were going to say, actually, but you talked about something different. I thought you were going to say about the actual quoting process. So again, there is, you know, we are aware that there is a bit of say fear, but people, think that we're going to come around and be in the house for hours and all that sort of thing. We don't work like that. You can see that from our reviews. But one thing we do pride ourselves on is the fact that we will always give the customer a quote. So whether it's windows, it's 1 window, 20 windows, whether it's a 3x3 conservatory or 8x6 live extension, we will go out and we will quote that. Unless there's a physical reason why we can't, we will quote that for the customer there and then. And actually, again, what does a customer want? They want to know the price. They want to know the price. They want to know what it's going to look like. And we drill that into our guys. We get out there and we will quote it. And if that's it, thank you, bye-bye, not interested, no problem. We'll leave you with the written quote. We'll email you the written quote, whatever you want, and then we'll leave, But actually, rather than, I'm going to come around, then I've got to come back, then I've got, it's like these companies that go, we've got to go to the manufacturer, find out the price. You don't know your own price. We pride ourselves on the fact that we will quote every single job there and then for them.
All the prices for everything are all built into the system.
Yeah.
And it's all live. So if client.co change a screw price, it will feed through and it will change the price.
Remember that.
And that's why we work on a lot of live prices, because
amazing.
that has changed the game, because now it's not a case of, right, we've had this price a week ago. The prices are all live, so they do actually change.
But if you quote me now,
Yeah. We'll hold that for...
So we give a 12-month quote, yeah. On windows and doors, we give a 12-month quote.
So you get a 12-month quote, and then you also get...
so even though there's these live changes,
Yeah.
it's like, no, my quote that you've just given
So you
me,
get a 12-month quote, which is valid for a year, and that is in writing with your picture of your house, and you can see what it will look like. That valid for a whole year, and that we'll do that windows or drawer. We'll install that for you. We also generally will do certain offers when we've got like a January sale on, or we've got. We haven't got anything at the moment that we have. I think our next big offer is the Blue Cross sale in March, and then you'll have offer prices for those sales, which we don't do that many sales per year. It's probably 3 or 4 maybe sales per year, depending on products.
I think that's a perfect mic drop moment, if I'm honest, on that one there. So
you've kept me a lot longer than you promised.
I know, I always do. But seriously, guys, that was absolutely brilliant. Hopefully, everyone can see why I wanted to discuss it in more detail.
I didn't get shushed.
No,
So, it's been a better day today.
You see how I really smile when you look at that?
you do love it. But I do encourage you, go and have a look at twchome.co.uk, twchome.co.uk. Have a look at it, get down to the showroom. You won't be mobbed as soon as you walk in, but just investigate. And there's some lovely ideas of what you can do here. And if you don't ask, you don't find out.
Thank you.
And I think that's the key thing. Point of difference is, you try to make that even the initial stage enjoyable and trustworthy, and that's what I like. And hopefully, as I say, we will get Conservatory Outlet on at some point as well, and we can talk.
Well, as I said, Greg has promised that he will do a podcast.
He's got to come on. I want to, and then we can find out more about the technical stuff, because this is supposed to be educational and insightful.
Can you snip that bit with Greg?
Yeah.
You're scared, Greg.
Guys, thank you so much for today. It's been a great episode 7. And we'll be back soon for episode 8. Keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Hybrid.